Welcome to the Work Your Money podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Wong.
I'm your co-host, Willie Morales.
Each week, we talk to people, either on the internet, through the phone, or in person.
We try to get the best business minds on this podcast.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe on iTunes, and please enjoy the show.
We have a great guest today. His name is Dan Shrigley. He is a reality show host of a survival network. He also has his own talk show radio, and he's also a publisher and a movie actor. Hi, Dan. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I've been looking forward to doing this. We've been talking about getting together for quite a while, and it's finally come to fruition. And so I'm just happy to be here and looking forward to this show with you guys. With me, I got my start in the survival industry, the outdoor industry, and I've been using that to branch into the entertainment side of things because that's always been my passion since growing up. I just happen to be really good at what I do, so I got notoriety and a little bit of, I guess you would call quasi-fame. But I have a global following for the outdoor industry, but that's not where I would say I would be limiting myself. I branched out to do quite a few other things too.
Tell us a little bit about your business overall.
I got into business, though. Last year I was in the Army. I did 17 years and 10 months, 4 combat tours to Iraq, and a year on the DMZ up in South Korea back in the 90s. So I knew that I wanted to pursue a career in the entertainment industry. I just wasn't quite sure how I was going to go about it in the beginning. And then what ended up happening is the last year of service before I decided to end my term of service contract, or what they call ETS. You know, naturally I got an honorable discharge and all that stuff before I ended my service commitment. So I ended up starting up a internet affiliate marketing company, and the focal factor for that company was to do the outdoor industry product sales, where I created a catalog service where people could go and order products, and I would generate a revenue based off of the affiliate marketing program through 600 companies, you know, pretty much globally. So I started doing that, and in the process of advertising, marketing, and promoting that company and the website and the products, I ended up getting embedded with some of the outdoor industry celebrity figures and their fan groups. And when I did that, I started developing a name for myself by teaching what I had learned and culminated throughout my years and my military service and my law enforcement background. So that just kind of pushed me up and out of the fan base, and as just an entrepreneur, because I was doing startup, into a subject matter expert with the historical backing with my career to really fall into that criteria. And next thing I know, I'm being promoted. The first celebrity to ever promote me and draw traffic to my web platform was Bear Grylls from Man vs. Wild. He promoted me in one day, which drew 80,000 people to my website. And he said, go buy my products off of his website. You know, it was cross-promotion. And so that really launched me in his fan base. And then, obviously, throughout time, I reached out to other people like Les Stroud, Cody Lindane, Michael Hawk, and all that stuff, and was embedded within their fan base until my own fan base culminated and grew. And that opened up the door for me to develop and create Survival Trek Escape, which is still being anticipated by a global audience for filming production, and then obviously we're going to take it to the network and have it aired out. So in the process of building my own TV show, which has not aired yet, but that also opened up the opportunity to do radio, and so I started doing a radio show, podcasts, on Blog Talk Radio with another gentleman out of Washington State by the name of Travis Johnson. He's the owner of Northwest Survival School. So we had a radio show co-hosting together called Survival Talk Northwest. Well, that was a little short-lived because he was being distracted by other prior commitments. So we did probably 2 months worth of radio shows, and we were doing pretty much like twice a week. And then so I started up doing my own radio show using a feature called Spreaker. That's Spreaker, and they have an app you can download from your app store. And so I started doing that, and I started getting notoriety. I started getting subscribers on it. So the next thing I know, Spreaker partners with iHeartRadio, and iHeartRadio offered me a radio station of my own, and all expense paid. I guess it was a gift. They gifted me a pro service account with their company, so I ended up going pro with them. So I've been doing that radio show seasonally. I haven't been doing it on a committed schedule. It's kind of been just here and there because of all the other commitments. But I keep it running. Once in a while I'll get on there and do a new episode, but I haven't been really running it solidly because I have other commitments going on. So I started getting offers to do appearances on films, television series, and it's just the doors really started flying open, I should say. And then I started expanding into my social media platforms. They started growing. Eventually I knew I was getting verification badges on some of them. And my website crossed over from catalog service to a celebrity website with educational content. And so we ended up dissolving the affiliate marketing program because I ended up becoming the product versus, promoting products. I ended up becoming branded myself. So I became my own product. So I started developing a product line through partnerships with a company called Zazzle. And Zazzle's been promoting my products, paying for the advertising of my products, and they just use my name and my brand and logo and my design concepts, and they promote it all over the place. It's really neat to sit in the movie theater, and before the movie starts, and you're seeing promotions going across the screen, and all of a sudden you see your watch or your T-shirts or whatever it is that you have with your logos on it, and you're like, wow, and you didn't even have to pay for it. Someone else's. So that was pretty neat. And so doing movie roles, doing independent film projects of my own. I got into doing music videos for bands. I got into doing micro short films. But I love acting. I love filmmaking. I love editing, and I love teaching people how to stay alive and save their own, life. If it should ever come to it, they'll know what to do, be it in the wilderness, be it in a severe weather storm, hurricane, tornado. I got rated as number 5 in the world most extreme survivors could dominate an apocalypse out of 10. I was rated, last year, or it was maybe 2 years ago, I got rated as the top 25 bushcraft masters of the decade, and I think that came out 3 years after I had been in the industry publicly. So to make such an iconic list as being a decade worth of work done and all in 3 years was pretty cool. And I keep making these polls, these lists and stuff, where they're really promoting what I teach and endorsing it. I am an honorary producer with the Disaster Survival Network magazine, radio, and television network. So that's really cool because I get pretty much free cross promotion off of that. And so it just seems really cool that you're watching your dreams develop and they're coming to fruition right before your eyes. But it didn't happen overnight, and there's a personal sacrifice involved with it. There's the unsurmountable amount of hours that you invest to get your branding out there. So when you're branding a product or you're branding yourself, fundamentally it's the same thing. You have to bring awareness that it exists. You have to create a demand. You want to make it a household name, and you have to find a way to make that happen so that way people are following either what you're selling or what you're servicing or you as an individual. So, and a lot of it comes from word of mouth. A lot of it comes from self-promotion. And, you know, and I've seen many times where, you know, you have a person like me that does a lot of self-promoting, but it's required that you do it. And some people are like, oh, well, all you got is, you know, self-promotion or, you know, in the beginning. And that's the only way you're going to be able to get out there is to self-promote. And you have to. So either you're self-promoting your brand, your product, or your service until other people start spreading the word about you or other people start paying for that advertising. It's a fundamental mandatory thing. But with the Internet being such a wonderful tool for reaching a vast audience and target specific points that you can use, like hashtags, you know. And it used to be like when I built my website, we relied on search engine optimization and anchor tags and keywords and things like that to get the word out there through search engines. But you got to remember, search engines are places people go to surf for information, but purchasers always go to directories. So you don't want to be a business person and avoid a directory and rely upon 100% on a search engine to promote you. And there's multiple search engines. So you want to be in all the search engines. You want to make your website search engine friendly. You want to make your social media accounts, if they're pro or business, search engine friendly. You do want to have a separation between your private and professional life if you're going to use social media, because it's too easy to lose that privacy. So you got to watch, you know, who you're bringing onto your private account or who you're bringing onto your public figure account or your professional page, stuff like that. You want to monitor that. But I found that the analytics within, for instance, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and these major social media platforms are very handy tools if you could really get rehearsed with them. I don't do a lot of paid advertising. I don't really need to. I don't frown upon paid advertising, but I get kind of the same effect by using organic advertising. But that might not be the case for all people or all companies or all products. It's a little different when you are a public figure, because you have the help of other people that believe in you, because you create a fan following. And so I have fan clubs. I have people that are loyal that share everything I post. So word gets spread out pretty easily as time goes on. Nothing happens. Here we are 5 years into it, and I'm global. I mean, I have fans from all corners of the planet. You know, in some countries they call me a guru. Some countries they call me idol. They refer to me as idol, and I don't feel I'm anybody's idol or guru, but that's how they identify you and show you respect. So it's pretty neat, because that just means that you're somebody's hero. They look up to you and they respect what you say. So you really want to put out accurate, viable content that's truly going to save somebody's life, or something of entertainment value that is, you know, it's just it's different, because I cross over between humor, serious roles. I cross over into educational content. So I'm really full spectrum entertainment. Whereas some people, they just stay into a certain isolated genre, where I don't. So it's just like Les Stroud from Survivor Man. He is really well known for his filmmaking and his appearance on film and television, radio shows, but he's also a wonderful, talented vocalist and musician. So he's not just isolated into one genre, and neither am I. You know, so it's just branching out and chasing your dreams. So I write articles on my blog, Paint to Survival. I write articles that are inspirational, positive mental attitude type articles, like about chasing your dream. Sometimes I'll write articles about relationships, be it personal, family, or professional. So I really try to push out a positive vibe that has some kind of a value to my following. And that is what really opens up the doors. It's like today I come to the house, and a corporation sent me a survival shovel with a pickaxe and a fire starting to do a product review for their product, to do a review on it and rate it, and also see how applicable it is in a real life situation. So I'm going to have to go put it to trial and error. And I'm also going to have to find the pros and cons with the product, because they're not giving it to me just to give them an attaboy. They're giving it to me to rate it and tell them what I would improve with other products. But that's kind of the cool thing is as you grow, those kind of opportunities happen. You know, they might end up wanting me to be their spokesperson. They might offer me an opportunity to do a commercial for them or something, or ask me to put my name on it, and it'll be now the Dan Shrigley Survival Shovel. You never know. So, but those opportunities only come to people that stick their neck out there and go chase opportunity. And so the only way you could chase opportunity is by doing proper planning, proper execution, and sometimes you have to refine that plan. You have to go back to the drawing board and redesign it and then go back at it and attack it once again. The trick to it is just never giving up.
Dan, you have given us a lot of golden nuggets. I'm sure the listeners that are listening to the show, they're going to get a lot of powerful information. Let me tell you, to transition from being in the military to now being, you know, your own brand, having your own business, and just putting yourself out there and chasing your dreams, you know, that shows a lot of hard work and dedication. And that's exactly what we're trying to show people that are trying to start out or trying to take their business to the next level.
If you're going to chase your dream, what I always teach people to do is write your dream down, sit with a loved one, and make a plan of action. So write out the little goal steps that you're going to need to set that gets you closer to your dream, because if you don't set out a plan of action based along a line of goals, you'll never accomplish your dream. And you also want to fit in a little technique I learned when I was about 19, 20, and 21. I was an Amway distributor many years ago, decades ago actually. But I learned about dream building. And sometimes you forget why you're getting up and working so hard, and you forget the end result reason for that. So what you could do is either by yourself or with someone that's close to you. It could be a business partner. It could be your significant other. It could be whoever, your family. But take them out dream building. Go to a home show. Go walk through a house that you ultimately would love to live in that's furnished, and just see what you're working so hard for. Go to a yacht marina and go walk around the yachts. Go open your eyes up to what's out there for you if you're materialistically motivated, or if you want to do all these many wonderful things to achieve a certain status quo. You know, so if that's the case and you want to be a famous person, a movie actor, well, then maybe you should go buy a red carpet ticket and go experience the red carpet and remind you, hey, you know, when I come out with my movie premiere, this is been for me instead of me being a guest at one. You know, so those are all little things that you can do to remind you why you work so hard. Why do you stay up and burn the midnight oil or candle at both ends every single day? Because sometimes you get feeling like you're in a rut and you need to remember what your dream's about. So I wrote an article on my blog called Do You Have a Dream? And so it's not survival related, but it's surviving life. So I guess that's kind of survival related, because life throws many curveballs. Life isn't just about surviving in the woods. It's about surviving medical challenges. It's about surviving financial crises. It's about surviving adversity. So a lot of what I do is I teach and educate the masses either through all types of forms of media, either radio, film, or in literature or whatever. But I teach them how to surpass all those things and stay alive and make it to the next day. And the best motivation is always inspirational motivation to do these things. You know, you really have to believe in what you're trying to set your mind out to do. So if you're a business owner and you're not taking advantage of Twitter, you're really making a big mistake, a very big mistake. Twitter is by far the biggest forefront in social media marketing than any other website out there, to include Facebook, to include LinkedIn. You need to be on Twitter, all right? Because I'll let you know a secret. I do one tweet on my Twitter account, even though I have a Twitter account with like 8,500 followers. So I'm not in the millions. I'm not in the hundreds of thousands. I just have 8,500 followers on my official Twitter account. But the impression ratio that comes off of my Twitter account for one tweet in 28 days is over 650,000 impression rates. That's 650,000 people that look at my Twitter account. So that's pretty impressive. So that's outreach. Your objective would be to create engaging tweets that make people want to respond or interact or share or love it or whatever, or click the link and go purchase or read or whatever it is that you're sharing or trying to sell. So that's the greatest tool on social media is Twitter. And why do you think Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump argue on it? There's a reason, because they're going to get more exposure than if they were arguing back and forth on their Facebook public figure pages like I had. So remember that. And then LinkedIn, if you are a business person or even in the entertainment, or you're just a corporate person or whoever your company is, or just an employee, LinkedIn is an invaluable tool for your outreach in your professional market. It gives you connections with people in your industry. It gives you connections with your competitors, which could be good or bad, but I think it's always good to keep your enemy close so you can monitor kind of what they're doing. And also opens doors of opportunity for you should you want to grow past where you're already at. So if you're an entrepreneur or a public figure, you definitely want to be on LinkedIn because you're going to get networkly connected to people that can help you grow bigger than what you already are. LinkedIn is a valuable tool. Facebook is a great tool to enhance your fan base. It's also a good tool to get word out and share some videos and stuff like that that are longer in length and more engaging, longer written articles or posts, which would be a little different than the little sister to Facebook, which is Instagram. But if you use it all and you culminate it together, then you really have something that's flattering because all those numbers add up. All that fan following, all those link shares, everything that you're promoting, they are just being seen by more people, and that's how today with the internet you become a household name. Anything to ask or interject?
So Dan, I like the concept of giving content, because that's what Michelle and I try to do on our site, where we try to give, some tips. We did one a few months ago on how to save money using the so-called JAR system. And then we uploaded a video that we got from YouTube on a step-by-step on how to do the JAR system, how to save your money in different savings accounts. So I like that concept because I think by giving a lot of free content and good content, I agree, you'll definitely get the loyal your loyal followers and people that will pay, the subscription service, whether, like you said, monthly, yearly, whatever. But, yeah, we definitely agree on that by trying to give content, maybe some articles. Like I gave one the other day on our website, about credit cards, business credit cards, and what to watch out for, because I'm living there right now. So, so that was an eye-opener when I started seeing the interest rates and all that. So I agree with what you said. That's a great point.
Yeah, and you can also do special edition things where majority of your stuff is free, but when you bring in like a special guest, you can, or a special contributor or whatever it might be for whatever the person's situation is, but you could do a special edition where that is not free, but most of everything else is, and since they already love what you're putting out, but you have like a special project, special event, special edition, whatever, that you can monetize on a special purchasing page or a link or something like that too. You don't have to monetize everything because you want to be user-friendly. And sometimes it's not always about flipping the dollar bill into the bank account. Sometimes it's just about doing what's morally and ethically correct in your heart. But sometimes also free content doesn't pay the bills, so it could go both ways. So you just kind of want to get a consensus for what's right for you as a business, what's right for you as an individual, and what's right for you as a partnership. And once you figure that equilibrium out, then you just kind of try something new, because it won't really hurt you. You'll know if you create a special purchasing page or a Amazon account or whatever it is that you do. You put a price on there for a subscriber, and you'll know if it's working or not, because you'll see in 30 days how many people subscribe, and then it could just be a matter of advertising it or sharing it through your social media accounts, because social media accounts, that's free advertising. That's getting the word out for free to a lot of people, and you're not having to come out of pocket. And if you want more people, then you just come out of pocket that way. But I would say this much. I would rather you put your money towards advertising in the yellow pages or on an internet directory service versus a search engine or Facebook or Twitter or whatever. I'd rather you put it through a directory, because you got to remember, like I said earlier in the conversation, people don't go to search engines to buy things. They go to directories to buy things, and that's the difference between a search engine. People just like to surf the web. They may not be prepared to whip their credit card out, but someone that goes to a directory looking to go buy aprons is definitely looking to buy an apron. Someone that's searching on the internet, keyword search and Google aprons, they're just probably looking at apron patterns, but they might not buy it. But someone that's going to a directory is certainly going there to buy. So that's your target market. That's your purchasing market, and that is a directory service versus search engine.
Okay, well, that's a good tip. We appreciate that. Now, so you talk about creating products and selling it, like on an Amazon or eBay or something like that, or
you should always use a third party advertiser or distributor for yourself as a secondary alternate to what you're doing. You always want to have a home. So if you're going to do anything involving internet sales, you're going to want to have a home for your product. So that's going to be a dedicated website in the name of whatever your product is or in the genre or industry of that product. Then you go outside to eBay or Amazon, and then you sell it there. And your sales might go higher on eBay and Amazon or Craigslist or whatever it is you're marketing yourself on, but at least you have a home for your product, because on the home for your product, you can offer deals and percentages off, whereas you might not be so freely available to do that on Amazon, because Amazon's going to charge a commission. eBay charges a commission, so you don't want to take a loss using those third-party advertisers. So you want to definitely do that on a dedicated web platform for your product.
I see. Okay.
When you first started out, were there any downfalls? Was there any issues?
Those issues they never go away. They're always there. You have your haters, you have your doubters, you have your roadblocks, you have your challenges. It could be as simple as, oh my God, we're missing numbers here. We have to do an internal audit and get ready for an external audit. So that will never stop, because that's just life. And the reason why it's life is because humans are involved. So, and humans are not perfect. Computer software programs are not always 100% perfect. And then you always double check, you do quality control. So there's always going to be some speed bump somewhere, and it's never going to stop. It's just how you manage through it is, basically the key ingredient is, you just charge through it, you work hard, you try to create a policy so that you don't have, if this issue comes around, this is how you defeat it, or this is how you negate it. This is how you don't have to confront this issue again. You set a standard. And that's on air. I mean, everybody's business is going to be unique to themselves. My biggest pitfall would be a hater coming out. I've had a few. So, and when I was coming out, I wasn't a polished up public figure at the time. I was just an Army guy stepping out there, and someone would challenge me, and that I was used to being on a battlefield. I was used to being around the rough and rugged, and I would attack back verbally and make that mistake, and that's not what you do as a business person or a public figure. You just don't do that. But I didn't know any better. I was a rookie. I was brand new into the business, so I had a hater come out and attack me, and I counterattacked. So I had to learn. And did it damage me? Ultimately, no, but immediately at the moment it did. But you just get through it. So you're going to have your haters, you're going to have your challenges. You're going to have all that. It's always going to happen. It never goes away. You're going to have relationship collapses in business. You're going to have relationship collapses in your personal life, and they're going to kind of feel like they affect you in your business life too, because sometimes some people have a problem with segregating the two, personal life and business life, and sometimes people's personal life becomes their business life, and sometimes people's personal life impacts their professional life. So it's you want to try to keep separation between the two. You know, in my line of business, I have fans, and my fans think I'm up. They must think I'm awake 24 hours a day and never sleep. So I have to turn off the notifications to the venues for which they use to contact me, and not make myself so readily available. Sometimes I have to take a break from them, only so I can focus on real life. You know, so but that's okay. Just you have to set your priorities. You have to keep them straight. You have to keep driving for that, and you want to make money. So that should be the biggest, most important thing, is paying your bills. If you have a mortgage or rent to pay, you want to pay it. You don't want to be distracted from that. You don't want anything else to distract it. You want to set goals. You want to also set rewards too. So it's not always about financial gains. Sometimes it's personal gains. If you're working in a team, you definitely want to make sure that you're honoring all members of your team, because there's no I in team. You know, so it's just all about esprit de corps. It's everything. It all culminates together, and you have to figure that out. And there's a lot of resources out there for you. You know, startup company books that you can read that give you advice. If you're a veteran starting up a business, you could get in touch with the VA and talk to a representative that really handles small business loans and startups for veterans. If you are not a veteran, there's still resources out there for you, and they're usually a Google search or a YouTube video away. You know, anything you ever want is at the tip of your fingers nowadays. So, and I used to use YouTube videos all the time. I mean, I do my own graphics design, my own video editing, my own search engine optimization for my websites. I do everything all on my own. I pay no third parties to do anything for me for marketing and advertising at all. But I had to learn how to do it. I didn't know how to do this 5 years ago, but YouTube taught me a lot. The internet taught me a lot. I just learned and taught myself. I didn't have to go to college to learn this. You know, I sometimes I believe college is just there to teach you how to be a really good employee. You know.
I agree there.
Yeah, and then unless you're going to be like a professional tradecraft and be a doctor, which when you get out you open up your own practice and all that stuff. But then again, you incur so much debt for doing that. You know, it takes a long time for you to climb out of that debt hole, and eventually where you're really making a good living. And then that takes a long time because you have to build up patient base. So the grass is not always green on the other side, and it's only as green as you make it. So you want to put your fertilizer out there, and that's all in your attitude. But listen to some positive reinforcement and listen to things that will teach you how to be a better manager. So, and that's the only way that you're going to achieve your dream.
It's true. Like right now, and I'm always trying to recommend books, and I'm reading 2 books now. One is The Power of Focus, and another one is called The Little Voice Mastery, which what you just talked about, where you could defeat yourself by just, I don't know if I should do that, I don't know if I should take that chance. And reading this book, The Little Voice Mastery, is just making me wake up, and I'm like, okay, I got to get back and focus on what I need to do. So, like I said, I read one book going to work, and then when I come home, I read the other book. And so what you recommended, what I recommended, just focus. Simple as that. I love what you talked about. That's perfect. It makes perfect sense.
What I'm doing here on this interview is giving you a definition or an example of what right looks like and what's called branding and knowing your product. I'm my own product. I know me well. So you need to know you well. You need to know your product well, or your service, whatever it is that you're selling. You need to know it because you need to market it. You need to let people know that you're there and you are in demand. And you will be in demand if you do that.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
hands down, a lot of respect for you and what you do and where you came from and how you transition and where you're at right now.
And thanks for serving our country. That's the biggest thing.
Yes.
When I got out,
thank you.
Can you believe this? When I got out of the Army, I was homeless on the street for about a month. You know what I did? I had a hard time transitioning from military life to civilian life. The world caught me unexpectedly because I got so used to the dependability of a military career that everything caught up to me. Plus, a relationship collapsed at the time, and so I had to climb out. But I wasn't going to settle. Now, me being homeless on the street, you wouldn't even know I was because, one, I'm a survival expert. I know how to survive in urban environments and wilderness environments. But I picked myself up, and now I live in $1 million condo. So,
congratulations.
Yeah, no, anything is possible if you put your mind to it. You're a prime example of how you started out and how you transitioned, how you turned everything over, and where you're at now, and you're still in high demand, and
I grew up with a single mom that had to depend on food stamps when her paycheck for cutting hair wasn't enough. I know what my mom had to use a Pell Grant to even pay to go to cosmetology school. So I grew up with a single parent mom. And so I know what it's like. I've eaten, top ramen and oatmeal so many times. I know what it's like to live on bologna sandwiches. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to eat lobster too. So it's just, you have to not let your downfalls keep you down. You have to climb out. You have to throw a rope. You have to be prepared. You have to plan. Life is survival. It's not just being in the wilderness that's survival. And I know people very close to me that I love more than anything that are in battling cancer, and will eventually succumb to it. But they're fighting to stay alive as long as they can, So there's a lot of people that have challenges, no matter what they are, and you got to preserve it. You have to try to put yourself in a position where you can succeed as long as you stick to the plan. My best friend always says, stick to the plan, stick to the plan. And he's a millionaire, or he was a millionaire. He had a business collapse. But can he be a millionaire again? I believe once you become a millionaire once, you can become one 10 times. So he's back on his track. Sometimes in business things collapse. Bad things happen. It might not even have been related to his business. The business he owns, his ex-wife owns it. Now it's a $6 million business, but she owns it and not him. But he built it initially, but she took it. So, but the point is he could go build another one, and that's what he said. You said you keep this, and I will go build another one, and that's what he's doing, and he's going to do it, and it's going to be bigger than the first company. So, it's just opportunities are always there, and sometimes you have to make your own, and when you do that, it happens. But you got to remember the key ingredient in any opportunity is other people. You have to have other people, but you got to also watch out who you trust. So I always tell business people, have a contract, make it foolproof, get it notarized, have a lawyer review your contract too, and have it locked in stone, because word of mouth might stick in some states, but not in all states. But a contract, if you're going to contract with somebody for individual service, you contract to their company name and their individual name. You just never go for a company, because all they have to do is shut the company down. Now they don't owe you that money. But you contract it to the company and the individual, then you got it locked, because you just got locked. It's like locked to the company and the individual. You eventually get your money from one of the two sources. But if you just contract to a company, you're risking that company could do a bankruptcy. So you see what I'm saying? So if you're contracting to a big company, then that big company it carries its own liability insurance. It has its own brokerage, so that way you don't have to worry about it. So if you're dealing with, for an example, Wally World, all right. So we're dealing with Wally World, and you're a service provider for Wally World. You just write the contract with Wally World. You don't need to get the store manager's name, but you just need Wally World. But if you're dealing with an individual on the street that just started another business, whatever, you want to have both names on that contract. So remember that. That's a good little thing to save you heartache later on down the road.
Yeah, no, I'm working on that now. Whenever I sign a contract, I get it notarized. But now I want to add a clause that if you don't pay me on time, I'm going to take you to small claims court or court. Get the fear of these guys, because I'm going through that now. But anyway, that's a good point, Dan. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. If you ever need any help or advice, I'm the easiest person on the planet to find. You just look me up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and private direct message me or whatever. anybody, any of the viewing audience, listening audience, or you individually, just look me up and ask me a question. I might not know the answers, but I always know where to go get an answer. And that's the non-commissioned officer inside of me. That my leaders taught me well. So that's what made me an effective non-commissioned officer.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You're approachable. You're very friendly, and very insightful. Having that mindset of being able to.
Another secret is always surround yourself with people more successful than you, so you can always be a student of someone. It's no fun when you're always the one that knows it all. Like my ex-girlfriend is a billionaire. All right, and she's, I can't name drop her out of privacy, but she's one of the wealthiest women in all of New York. So, but she toodles me in private more times than I can imagine, and she always blew my mind. So, you always surround yourself with people more successful than you, and then when the opportunity allows you to be that person for someone else, then be a good mentor. But always have a mentor. Have someone you can look up to. I have mine. You should have yours. There's always someone more successful than you.
No, I agree there.
I agree. We definitely agree on there.
Yeah. So, I had a great time on your show. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come in and share. And I hope I was able to help the listeners as well. And like I said, I'm very approachable. I have a website. It's my official survival website. I don't just teach survival on it. I do other things too. But my website is my master connection platform where it goes to all my radio shows, my magazines, my products. I mean, you name it. My blog is an amazing survival blog where if you want to learn how to save your life, you can go there and read my blog articles, go through the archival history of it. Prevalent today, I would kick you to the article I wrote called The Family Escape Plan. Just go to the search bar on my website, type in Family Escape Plan, and go read that. Because of the active shooting situations that have been ongoing, and also unexploded ordinances found in New York and in New Jersey recently. So that might be something prevalent that's current with the times. I wrote an article called The Psychology of Survival. I've written an article on that website, Do You Have a Dream? So go read that. That's not survival related. It's inspirational. So there's a lot on there. Go check that out. You can tune into my Spreaker radio show or my iHeart radio show. And learn more, or just follow me on my social media account. Just type in either Daniel Shrigley or Shrig Nation for my celebrity endorsed verified page. That's just really starting to grow. I think I spent more effort on my website instead of making that grow, but I think that one just finally broke 3,000 people, but it's not nearly up to speed with like my Twitter account and all my other social media accounts are. My LinkedIn account too.
We greatly appreciate having you on and giving us your time and just giving us your peace of mind, your advice, and I know for a fact that the listeners out there are going to appreciate it, and not just that, I'm sure that they're also going to reach out to you.
Dan, I don't know what else to say, but thank you. This is a show that I'll definitely listen to at least 2 or 3 times. Definitely.
Awesome. Great. I'm happy to be invited, and I would be more than happy to come back and maybe pick a different topic and nail it home for you guys. Just let me know anytime you need me, Michelle.
Yeah, no, Dan, you're welcome to always come back. And, yeah, definitely. We'll just have to see when we can coordinate and have you back. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan, so much.
All right. Bye, everybody.